live. We're talking about SEO, business, self-mastery. Any other questions you got? Let me give you a few minutes to get these live in some of the other groups. And then we'll go ahead and proceed. I don't know if you can hear the music I'm listening to. The music I'm listening to is my mentors playlist. If you ever want it, it's really motivational. It's really good. Just let me know, and I will send it over to you. Let me get these over into the groups. If you have any questions, drop them below, and I will be getting to them. Like I said, we go live every single day. So let me get these over there. It's Blessings by Hollow Folks. What's up, guys? Let me know if you can hear me. Awesome. So I had a guy ask me this question, and I'm going to cover this. If you have any more questions, hey, Anthony, if you have any questions, drop your questions below, and I will answer them. So one of the questions I got in the past 24 hours is, how are you finding clients? How are you finding clients? How do you plan the content? And then the second one is, how do you plan the content for your site to get it ranked and cited in AEO and GEO? All right, so let's go ahead and deal with a couple of these. So I use a tool, couple of tools, some of which I'll tell you, some of which I won't tell you, okay? Only reason because I got to keep some things in my secret stash. I can't give you everything, but there are tools out there that qualifies, especially with AI agents, leads, warms them up, and even will do the outreach for you, okay? There are tools. It just depends on how much money you want to spend. Now, that being said, if you don't have money to spend, the best way to generate leads is by giving value and serving people. What do I mean by that? I know a lot of people out there use the term dropping value and value bombs, and it's become kind of like cliche. And here's the thing. You got to find your ideal client, number one. Number two, what's their pain points? Number three, what do they think about while they sleep at night? You have to deep dive into their psychology. And what I mean by that is you can't just go, well, I got some SEO or web design or graphic design skills or whatever skill it is that you think you have, and you want to pitch it to somebody. Okay. And this is what most people do. In this case, I'm actually talking to Akib. Akib is the one that dropped the question. So, ideal client. Let's say it's roofers. So the beautiful thing about social media, whether that is LinkedIn, whether that is Facebook, whether that is TikTok, whether it is any algorithm, whatever you choose, you can find where they congregate, okay? Where they congregate, where they come together. Let's say it's health. Let's say it's fitness. Any niche, you can go into any platform and use it the way it's supposed to be used, all right? You got to look at social media as it is a party happening where you need to come and talk and get involved. And you don't come in there and just say, hey, I do SEO and I do web design, or I'm a coach, or I do websites, or I do graphics, and tell everybody what you do, because no one gives a shit about what you do until you care about them. You have to step into a conversation that's already taking place. And how do we do this? So if our ideal client is health, just for example, let's go to Facebook. This is just one platform, right? But we can go on this platform and we can type in, let's say, roofer or roof, any of that, right? Any keyword really, and then go to groups. And I can find groups all day long, large amounts of members, 82,000, 25,000, 763,000, right? This one right here is a big one. And I can find my ideal client. They're congregated literally in this biggest area. Now I can type in whatever, preferred email. Okay, let me type in my email. So yeah, a lot. Now, if you come in here and you don't enter in your stuff, generally what happens is they think that, you're just going to come in here and scrape their group, which I am. But you don't want them to know that. All right, so that's number one. Number one, let's say I'm going after roofers. Number two, I'm then going to develop some tripwire. What is tripwire? Tripwire being, for example, things I can give away of value to my ideal client. So a couple that I have, and I'll show you in the junk removal space. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 5 ebooks. Now, each of these ebooks, I have invested, let's say $1,000 or so to have them written up. These are actually written, I can put them on Amazon. And for instance, this is the 24/7 follow-up system for junk removal pros. And this is pitching a CRM. Now, this one right here is how to pitch, if I'm going after people in Google Ads. Okay. This one here is specifically for SEO about keyword research. This one here is specifically about getting more leads. This one here is specifically about growing your junk removal company. So you kind of get the point. You need a tripwire that you can give away to each of these people. So once I find my ideal client, once I've got a tripwire, the next thing I do, for example, is I optimize my Facebook profile. Most of your profiles out there that I've looked at are not optimized. And what do I mean by that? Optimized being, when I go to your profile, do I know what you do? Like in our case, we do tailored SEO. And the call to action is a free SEO audit. If they click on it, it takes you over to a link in which they can actually book a call with me. Now, I also optimize and put in my bio a little bit about what I do, local service SEO websites, more calls in 60 to 90 days, DM audit. I put in my links, my website, all my contact information. I'll also do a pinned story about me and my journey, and some very important pictures of me with my wife, my mentors, contract signings, SB lead, etc., video even. And I do all of that. Then I also put highlights. I may put, in this case, a free no BS GMB audit, or I'll put client testimonials, or I'll put client reviews or websites I've done or SEO rankings. You could literally do this all any way you want in this case. Now, when I go to my profile, you'll see, obviously, I talk about business, I talk about self-mastery, I share things my mentors taught me, my fitness journey, my business. So you don't have to question, what does William do? You know what I do. But what happens, I can go to, let's just say, this is a client of mine. Let's say I go to his, I know he does junk removal, but this is a very typical type profile. It's a bunch of business and not very much business. It's a bunch of personal stuff, where you went to eat at or you're drinking at, none of which no one cares about. So what we want to do is optimize our profile for this. Why do we want to do that? Now, we optimize it because when I start going in these groups and answering questions, now I'm not saying go into these groups and just start posting your free tripwires, your free ebooks. Hey, I do SEO. Hey, I'm giving away free websites. You can try that, and sometimes you'll get away with it, but 99.9% of the time you won't, because group owners like myself don't like people coming in and scraping their groups, and don't like people doing that. We rather you give value. Now, giving value means coming in here and answering questions, looking for people that need help. How do I do that? You see this little search icon right here? You just hit search and hit help. Keywords like that, where people are looking for help, and you see this, where they need help, looking for, they did this or this happened on their website and they need help. So you answer the questions. That's what I mean by giving value. Now, the more you do that, what will wind up happening is you won't have to DM or message people. People will start messaging you. Why? Because you're becoming a producer instead of a consumer. The other thing that I'm going to tell you to do is you need to start becoming a creator or a producer and creating reels and videos. Now, like for instance, I did this too yesterday, and this, this color background. I test things to see what do people like the most. Is something too inflammatory and stuff like that. So I'm just testing things like that. But you definitely need to start creating content, in the fact that creating short form content, long form content, posts where you're giving value, and see what triggers people and what people in your audience are liking. For instance, my audience, I know they like me because I am pretty much blunt, straight to the point on a lot of things. Some people don't like that. Now, what we need to do, you got all these tripwires. So now what do I do with these tripwires? These tripwires, what I will actually do with them is when someone comes in and, for example, I start a conversation and I get a conversation going, what I will do, thank you, Junk to Go, I appreciate that. What I will do with I go into this, let's say this group here for roofers, just for example. And you can do this in any niche you're in. I don't care if you're a business to business, you're a roofer looking for leads, you're a junk removal person looking for leads, you can do the same thing. You can find groups in your city for, marketplace where, if you will, they're getting rid of items in their area, stuff like that. Now, what we do is, for example, in my case, like him, I know he's a business, I'm going to message him. And I message him, I'm not saying, I'm not pitching him as soon as I message him. When I message people, I'm just trying to get a conversation going. In this case, I see he's producing content, and I'll just message him and say, hey, love the content. This is hilarious. I'll message him and just try to get a conversation going. Love the content. Just trying to get a conversation going. That's all. Now, once they reply back to me, then I proceed with the conversation. Depending on how they respond and the words they use, I will determine the framing I use and how do I get them ready and lead them down, if you will, the sales path. Because ultimately, we're doing this not just because we like doing it, we're doing it because we also are looking to get new clients. Now, another platform I use is called Instantly. I don't know how many of you know what Instantly is, but Instantly, and I'm not going to do too much of a deep dive into it. You can do it yourself. Instantly allows you to find leads. Not only find leads, but you can also, let me log out of this and I'll show you. Instantly is a platform in which I use that allows me to find leads as well as message them. And I'll show you. So it's instantly.ai. With Instantly, you can find clients. Not only can you find clients, you can also look for specific clients regarding specific keywords in specific cities, specific states, and you can bullet down even to income level and everything else under the sun. Then it also is AI in which you will also warm them up and also book the calls. So that's another tool I use. There's a third one in which I'm doing mass SMS campaigns, which I will not divulge. But those are the two that I use mainly. Now I'm going to go to the next question that I was given to answer. So Keeb, how do you plan the content for your site to get it ranked and cited in AI and GEO SEO? Right, and I'll show you that. See if I have, I don't know if I have it on this computer, and I'm sure I don't. But most people think that AI and GEO and all that pulls from like there's a specific type of way to do SEO to get GEO and AI SEO to pull from it. And the fact is, there is not. There is not some magical thing that you can do to get AI to pull your shit. Okay? This is not happening. And I'm going to show you why. Give me 1 second. So how do I do SEO? And I'll just show you this real quick. So number one, do you have your foundational social backlinks done? Do you have your voice search profiles up? Foundational on-page SEO, and do you have your video search profile? So video and voice, do you have that done? And do you have your foundational on-page SEO and foundational off-page SEO done? Then besides that, we are doing blogs and press releases, short form content, long form content, etc. What most people do when they do SEO though is they simply produce a piece of content, whether that's a blog, whether that's a press release, whether that's a backlink, or whether that is a short form piece of content. They put it on one platform, usually only maybe 2 or 3. We put it across dozens. Right. And the reason we do that is the algorithm for AI SEO if I had the image, there we go. I'm pulling it for you guys and I'm going to show you. And there's a guy by the name of Dan Burton, and he's real good. He's one of the top SEOs. He does SEO for the likes of Tony Robbins and some other people. And I'm going to divulge him. He literally tells you, for example, there's no such thing as AI SEO. There's no such thing as geo SEO. There's no way to manipulate the LLMs to get in their good graces. The SEOs and marketers out there pushing it because business owners are gullible and they believe them, and they know that you're chasing shiny objects instead of the discipline and work it takes to rank. So where AI gets its facts from, all right? And if you want this graphic, send it to me. Send me a request and I'll get it over to you. These are the top domains cited by large language models like ChatGPT and Perplexity. So if you've ever done a search of any kind whatsoever and you're looking in the AI overviews, you're looking in ChatGPT, Perplexity, or any of them, it literally tells you this is where we're pulling the information from. Reddit, Wikipedia, YouTube, Google, Yelp, Facebook, Amazon, TripAdvisor, Mapbox, OpenStreet, MapQuest, Walmart, LinkedIn, Quora. Not one time on here is it saying, well, there's a certain specific type of SEO. No. For example, when I do a piece of content, let's say I do a blog, I turn that blog into a short form video and a long form video. And then I put it on YouTube, and then I put it on Facebook, and I put it on Instagram, I put it on TikTok, and I put it across Reddit and Quora. And guess what? Now the LLMs will start pulling that information from those platforms and having me show up in the results. Why? Because I'm syndicating my content. But there are people out there that'll be like, well, there's a specific way to get in the LLMs. No, there's not. It's basic SEO. It's basic SEO. The reason why you're not in the large language models like ChatGPT and Perplexity is you're not doing good SEO. So that's the bottom line. If I look at your SEO and you're not in the LLMs, it's because you're not doing proper SEO. It's that simple. Already got a response from that lead we just sent to, by the way. Any other questions? Drop them below. I'm looking to see. Any other questions? All right, so some other things. So one thing I do as well, because I've had people ask me about this. So MJ Lopez is my mentor. He's also a partner in Wolfforge Digital. Now, one of the things I've been doing lately is in this little handy dandy book here. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing. In this handy dandy little book here, what I do is the night before, every day, I write things that I need to do down. The week before, I will write things I need to get done that week. The month before, the things I need to get done that month. The year before, things I want to get done that year. What it does is it helps you become accountable for what you got to do. So for today, for example, I'm going through Success Blueprint, Meditate, Day 5 content challenge because I'm in a content challenge. I need to produce 2 short form contents for business and then 1 for SEO. And then I also do long form content on a daily basis. I also got to go in at the office and train the team. I also will be closing 2 new clients. I also had to do press release credits and instantly set up Google Voice as well as post in our group. That's just one thing, and it keeps you accountable. So why do most people not do this? The biggest reason is because people want to believe that they are doing more than they actually are. And then when they do this and don't keep themselves accountable, they don't have to, they'll be like, it's like saying, well, I know I'm not gaining weight. I'm not gaining weight, but I'm not looking on the scale. If you're not looking on the scale, how do you know you're not gaining weight? The reality is without accountability, without receipts, you don't know. And therefore you kind of can feel good about yourself and feel all nice and cozy inside and comfortable. And when you start writing things down and keeping yourself accountable, you can't do that. The other thing I do is I do time blocking, which my mentor mentions in day 8 of Success Blueprint. If you ever want to get involved in with my mentor, MJ Lopez, or Success Blueprint, or Ultimate Mastery, or SB Lead, which I just went through with him, comment below or DM me and I will send you the information. But time blocking is, for example, on my calendar, and I'll show it to you. Like today, for example, my next task is I got to do a team follow-up, which I've already done, and I'll show you this. And I have everything written down from what I eat, when I eat, everything. Like I said, this really helps keep me in order as well. So team follow-up already did. Next is going to be, and I got training at 11 a.m., right, for our GeoStack training. And then after that, high protein meal, monitoring everything, then monitor the leaders, high protein meal, coffee, self-development, monitor everything, message inner circle, high protein meal, wins, wrong, right, what you did wrong, what you did right, and state story strategy plan. That's my evening plans. That's another thing I've been doing. So I know a lot of you guys are always asking, what's William been up to lately? But this is what I've been up to. Any other questions, guys? I'm about to sign off here, but just want to answer any questions you guys have. So yeah, ma'am, Dietis, you had mentioned trying to upload a video for short form content and you've not been able to. Generally, especially if it's in the Philippines, it's because your Wi-Fi and your connectivity issue. Both generally, if it's on Globe or PLDT too, is another one that will tell you the truth. But yeah. Any other questions? And we're about to get off here. Tomorrow, if you want me to do an SEO audit, if you want me to look at your GMB, Google listing, anything, just let me know and I will gladly take a look at it. I will audit it for you and I will give you an SEO game plan. What I plan on doing starting next week is I will be showing you how we go through step 1 of day 1 of onboarding a client to ranking that client, anywhere from 30 few weeks to 90 days. And we'll show you everything we do for every single client. We do it every single time. Therefore, you kind of see what you're getting involved in when you're doing SEO for yourself or for other businesses. So I'm glad we could help you guys today. Glad we could give you some value. Glad I was able to answer some questions. Like I said, if you have any websites or any GMBs you want me to audit, just send it below and I will answer them as well. Also, happy birthday, Danny at Wolf Forge. We love you. We appreciate you. Thank you for everything you do. Today, we're not just celebrating your life. We honor your strength, your growth, and the fire you bring to our family at Wolf Forge. We love you. Appreciate you guys. And like I said, if you want me to do an SEO audit, want me to look at your website, your Google listing, or have any other business questions, drop them below. If I didn't get to them today, I will get to them tomorrow. Thank you so much. If you ever want to get on a call with me, my calls are free. Just go over to Wolf Forge digitalagency.com and book a call with me, and I will get on a call with you. Appreciate you guys. Thank you guys so much, and you have an amazing day.